Welcome back. I'm Richard Hosnote, and I'm your host for the Wisdom Inspired Life podcast and this Wisdom Inspired Life YouTube channel. Great to have you back. This begins an extended series exploring the topics of caring, compassion, and kindness. It's part of my Words of Wisdom series, which becomes very nicely WOW. And in this particular series, I'm going to be sharing with you quotes from people you know and people you don't know on the topics of caring, compassion, and kindness. I discovered as I looked into this quotes, and I realized that people were talking about caring, compassion, and kindness from different perspectives about what it was and what it meant to them. And in ways better than probably I could sit here and talk to you for hours, by sharing with you quotes from people, you can understand the wide range of possibilities that come when you become a more caring, compassionate, and kind person, all of which is integral to living a wisdom-inspired life. So that's what this is all about. So have some fun with this. I did in putting it together, and hopefully you'll get a sense of that fun as we go through this. So let's get into the quotes for this episode. Well, the diversity of quotes continues, as I think you'll see in this series. The message about compassion, caring, and kindness and love continues to sharpen and take shape as we go through this series. The great commonality of the various perspectives is indeed both impressive and insightful, and should inform us about the power of these qualities. So let's start. Compassion is the keen is sharp, insightful awareness of the interdependence of all things, not just people, but the interdependence of everything on the planet, mineral, plant, animal, and human kingdoms in our home that we call planet Earth. Compassion is the keen awareness of the interdependence. We understand we're all dependent on each other. We're all connected. That's what compassion is about. Connections with others, helping others. And it's the developing that awareness that it's the interdependence of all things. And I talk about being compassionate with other people, but it's being compassionate towards our planet, compassionate towards animals, compassionate towards plants. In an earlier episode, I told you the story that my wife had shared with me of a big baboon taking care of this, showing compassion for this little bird in some water that it could not get out of, and if it didn't get out of it, was going to die. And how this big baboon rescued this small, delicate little bird that had been born not just minutes before. Compassion is about the interdependence of all these things, caring for each other, not just as people, but with animals, plants, our planet. Okay? Thank you, Thomas Merton. It's a lack of love for ourselves that inhibits our compassion towards others. If you don't love yourself, sometimes it can be difficult to love and care for others. If we make friends with ourselves, now there's a good idea, then there's no obstacle to opening our hearts and minds to others. There's a great little thought in here about the conditions necessary to be compassionate, caring, and kind towards others. If we don't love ourselves, it inhibits, doesn't prevent, inhibits our compassion towards others. If we make friends with ourselves, if we like ourselves, even those parts of us that aren't doing so well, understand that we're working on them and that they're getting better. Make friends with yourself. then there's no obstacle to opening our hearts and minds to others. There's a great perspective and wisdom in all of this. Thank you, Anonymous. Wish we knew who you were. Serve and show compassion and the will to help others. Albert Schweitzer, great human being on the planet. Serve and show compassion. Serve others with compassion. Compassion, again, is I understand what you're going through and I want to help relieve your suffering and challenges and make life a little bit easier with you. Okay? Reaching out in kindness and caring. And the will to help others. You can have compassion as a, gosh, I wish I were more compassionate. Yeah, compassion is good. But you need to connect that. Remember some earlier episodes, compassion is about action. Well, to act, you need the willpower to help others. You need to connect that. I just love the different perspectives that are on all these different quotes, and it's the reason I'm doing it. Helps you understand the multifaceted aspects of compassion, caring, kindness, and love. Thank you, Albert. Our sorrows and wounds are healed only when we touch them with compassion. The sorrows and wounds that we have in our world are healed only when we, all of us, touch them with compassion. Compassion is reaching out and touching someone else, not necessarily physically, but making a connection with others to help them. Our sorrows and wounds are healed only when we touch them with compassion. And there are sorrows and wounds that can really only be healed with compassion. The emotional, the spiritual wounds. The physical wounds we know something about, but even they can be healed better through compassion. Because you bring more positive energy into the human body, which is a natural healing mechanism. Thank you, Jack. Compassion is to look beyond your own pain. All of us have challenges. If you're going to be compassionate, you need to be able to go beyond that to see the pain of others. Remember, we talked about empathy as seeing and feeling and understanding the pain of others. Understanding that, we then act on that understanding or empathy with compassion. And we go beyond any personal pain that we may have to reach out and help others. It's an integral part of being a compassionate being on this planet. Thank you very much, Yasmin. Well, as always, you can learn more by going to the mywisdominspiredlife.com website. You can listen to the Wisdom Inspired Life podcast there, new episodes every Saturday and Sunday, hundreds of episodes. Go back to the early ones and you'll see a great deal of diversity of wisdom quotes that I share with you there. My hope when I did the podcast was to share the voices of different wisdom teachers that maybe you could connect with a certain voice, an energy, and feel, boy, that teacher speaks to me and I want to learn more about them, and you dig in and you learn from them. That's what's happened in my life. Not all teachers are right for all people. It's where you kind of have an energy connection. Words have energy, so see which ones you connect with. Well, as you know, if you've been listening to these episodes, you know I'm on a journey. Thank you very much for participating in that journey today, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you.